And now on to our writers. Donna Pucciani is the author of 4 books of poetry. Her work has been published in the US, Europe, Australia, and China, and has been translated into Italian, Japanese, and Chinese. She won awards from the Illinois Arts Council and the National Federation of State Poetry Societies, among others, and she's been nominated 4 times for the Pushcart Prize. A resident of Wheaton, she currently serves as Vice President of the Poets Club of Chicago. Welcome, Donna.
And thank you, Waterline, and our audience for being here tonight. I'd like to read some poetry of place this evening, and specifically I'd like to focus on Italy, which is the birthplace of my paternal grandparents and their grandparents and their grandparents. And this is from my forthcoming book called Imperfetto. To my village, San Donato di Nenea, Calabria, Italy. The sun rises over the edge of the world. Olive trees cloud the hills like October snow, and the huge dark tongues of bells bloom like rare orchids. Little village, you hide in a handful of chestnuts, cracked pavement, a stray dog, the full moon. You have appeared only in dreams, but now you show yourself in the rain. Clouds are pieces of memory drifting in the mind of the mountain. Trinity Church blesses the valley, its sides billowing Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, stucco and gray stone. From here, time has lost herself among the men sitting in the square. Up the hill, a man carries firewood on his back, his wife following in an old coat and scarf. A cat sleeps on the windowsill of Zia Adelina, who knew my nonna. In the old days, Zia Maria and Zia Rosa played here with forks and spoons in the great mahogany sideboard. On another street, Nonno's workshop. I am home now. The flagstones are love letters to my wanderer's feet. Evenings in the hotel, we sip coffee at the bar, trade songs and stories. The dead live here, their faces in sun, their bodies in shadow. A sweet dialect, lazy and loose, seasons the wind, and footsteps lament a gradual loss. Night listens to the rush of the river, no other sound but the opening and closing of an umbrella. Here the rain tells a story, then disappears into a hidden corner, waiting. And I brought a picture of San Donato, a photograph that I took when I visited it for the first time several years ago. For my next poem, I would like to talk about naturally curly hair. I have the bless or the curse or whatever you want, not just from the Italian side, but from my mother's side, which is the French and Spanish heritage of New Orleans. Inheritance. These tendrils disdain the sheen of fashion, curl like spooning lovers, speak the language of silkworms, not lank strands, runway sleek. These tresses love wind, not comb, quiver like chinchillas, like the tails of piglets or the trails of comets, the inherited filigree of a grandmother's necklace, the beard of an uncle I never knew. Spanish moss festoons live oak trees and hot winds off the Gulf, where mother stayed out all night and sang at the harbor fisherman's mass, wearing Sunday dawn in her blue satin gown, where the tangled hair of mermaids borrowed whirls from conch, seaweed from barnacles. Like the coast road above Amalfi Bay, a corkscrew in a peasant Bardolino, or Papa's gemelli that holds sauce well. The hair of a New York Italian princess curls soft as fine wool on a crochet hook, thick as moss, impervious to fingers, corn silk awry, alfalfa sprouts, or bits of ribbon tucked in a bird's nest. I wind it around my index finger, remembering a mad alcoholic voodoo mother and a brilliant, gentle father with black ringlets middle parted under an army hat, or crowding his big-hearted chest. Squiggling sperm gave its own shape to this head full of fluff and frivolity that is not me, that in the rain sticks to my wondering cheek the way smoke wraps air, past invades future. To own it is not a choice. One must lose control, relinquish oneself to coiled DNA sprung from the Hudson River, Lake Pontchartrain, and the hot Tyrrhenian Sea. I grew up in New Jersey, and often I visited my grandparents' house in West New York, just across the river from Lower Manhattan, where they emigrated to Ellis Island from Italy in about 1903. This next one was published by Istanbul Literary Review, and it's called Regret. I was slow to catch on, genealogically speaking. My fifth grade world was school books, bubblegum and jealousy, early lipstick, and ice cream in small cartons with ball players' pictures inside the lids. I lagged behind on the street of family ties. No sentimental journey could deter me from roller skating downhill at top speed, double dutching with old ropes from the garage, or buying vinyl 45s. The odyssey of the grandparents held little interest, shawled in a foreign tongue, entombed in a dark linoleum house that smelled of garlic, furniture polish, and mothballed linens. So I ran in the dirt, pigtails flying, caught fireflies, played stickball in an empty lot in Jersey, while my unknown cousins kicked a can down a cobbled street somewhere south of Naples. Their mothers called them in for supper in the sweating dusk of 7 hours difference, while I scuttled into the barefoot noon. I burn still in the purgatory of distance, ashamed never to have asked the questions, never to have learned the polysyllables of dark, spidery elders huddled in Afghans, or leaning on sills looking down on the traffic, gazing across the river to New York, or simply waving as we left. There is no grace generous enough, no benediction of such mercy now when they are gone to bless my curiosity, to ease the hours writing out Italian verbs, repeating strange words to myself, consumed with the vain desire to wave back. This last poem combines the imagery of my present home base, Chicago, with that of Italy. It's called Please Come. I can offer you a city of skyscrapers on a large lake whose opposite shore you cannot see. Buildings by famous architects will gather you in granite. But yes, I know where you come from. The Alps are only a stone's throw. Let me show you America's heartland. Fields of wheat, mile after ochre mile, as flat as the feet of an Indian guide. But of course, I know of the Colosseum, Vesuvius, the Amalfi Coast. Here is the Art Institute. The Impressionists favor haystacks, poppies, light, and the Chicago Symphony plays across the street. I understand. You've been to La Scala, swum the Med, climbed the peaks of Pollino, eaten calamari on Capri, sailed the canals, touched the finger of God in the Sistine Chapel. But here is the water tower, where Mrs. O'Leary's cow started the Chicago fire. A train ride away from the city, we can offer you a bed in a small ranch house painted the color of coffee with milk. We will walk the prairie paths in the rank humidity of an Illinois summer, waving away clouds of mosquitoes. Evenings, after chicken on the grill, we will watch the fireflies blink from the shrubbery, wander around local ponds, pointing at a pair of ducks whom we have named Lucy and Ricky. You will sleep your jet-lagged sleep in a chorus of crickets, listen to the wind for which our fair city is famous. Or, if you arrive in winter, you can shovel snow in the driveway. Or just watch it cape the horizon in purple at sunset. After dinner, we will simply talk, navigating the waters of two languages. I will play piano for you, Bach, Gershwin, whatever you wish. Tomorrow, you will fall from the sky into my kitchen, and the big blue breakfast of Lake Michigan will be ours.